Pete Rose.
Yeah, Dan, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for doing this.
Okay.
Basically, I'm writing a story trying to bring out the hypocrisy of how they're treating you. And the first question I got is obviously the steroid era has changed things a bit with the debate of whether or not you should be in the Hall of Fame. Do you think the era of steroids has strengthened this debate? Because, guys like Gaylord Perry, they cheated in a spitball sort of way, but these guys are enhancing their performance with, drugs basically.
Well, if anything, it's probably helped me in the minds of people in the media, which I didn't have a lot of people on my side in the media, and I think the media understands the sacred statistics of baseball and how sacred they are, because going back to 1869, and if you enhance yourself to dicker with the statistics of baseball, you're hurting the game, and I think that's why everyone is so opposed to steroids.
Exactly. You know this game.
Because unlike football or basketball or hockey, statistics are what baseball is all about. Going back to the Babe Ruth hitting 60 in 1927, to Roger Maris hitting 61 in 61. So, and the average baseball fan, the traditional baseball fan, likes to see records broken, but in a legitimate way.
Right. Well, the stats are hallowed ground for the game. I mean, do you think that Bonds' numbers and A-Rod's eventual numbers and anyone else who cheats, should their numbers be pulled from the books?
No, I don't see how you can, because and I can't blame any one person. I mean, I'm not going to blame the commissioner of baseball for steroids. I mean, Jesus. I mean, here's a guy that's got 900 players. I mean, he's not babysitting 900 players. I mean, owners after the strike in '94 made the determination that the way to get the fans back to the ballpark was create the long ball, and that's probably when this fad started. And then they start making small ballparks and water down the pitching staffs with 30 teams, and it was inevitable that the home run statistics were going to go up.
Right.
And they have, and now they created everyone involved created a monster. I mean, it's owners, it's players, it's commissioner, it's everybody, the fans. I mean, everyone tolerated it. Everyone enjoyed Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa having that home run contest. It kind of saved the game of baseball. And not one person ever said a negative thing about Mark McGwire. And now, when he's on the ballot, he gets 22%.
Yeah. So, I mean, so put yourself in the commissioner's shoes. If there's a punishment that should be doled out to these players for taking performance-enhancing drugs.
That's a good question. But I can't answer that question. I don't know how to answer that question, because I don't know what rules are in place for baseball as far as steroids are concerned. And I know I broke a rule, and I've been suspended going on 20 years. I mean, if anything, that's the only thing that drives me crazy is if these guys are breaking rules, and like I said, I don't know the rules, no one's getting penalized.
Right. Yeah, but they broke the law, though. They not only broke.
That's exactly what Mark McGwire did when he was in front of Congress. I mean, he couldn't say, well, I was taking creatine and it was illegal in baseball, because it was illegal in government.
Right.
But yet, even though they're breaking the laws, no one's prosecuting anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not Bud Selig's fault. I mean, I'd hate to. I don't give a shit how much money Bud Selig's making. I'd hate to have his job.
Right.
Because the players are creating a mess for the game of baseball, and this could happen to football. This could happen to basketball. It could happen to anybody. So you can't sit and blame the commissioner.
Right.
It's not fair to blame one guy.
Right, but
or Bob Dupay, the president of baseball. How can you blame these guys? I mean,
you can't blame them, but
people are going down to San Domingo and getting drugs and taking them, and it's not everybody. I mean, because of the 700 they tested, only 104 tested positive.
Right.
So based on that stat, the majority of guys that they tested were clean.
Well, does it? I mean, Selig gave an interview recently that he was angry about the criticism he was taking as a commissioner.
I agree with him. I don't don't see how you can blame Bud Selig. I mean,
but there's a level of
he did some wonderful things for the game. I mean, you can say the steroids happen on his watch. Okay, but I mean, he's
right.
not in the clubhouses. He's not going home with these guys. I mean, and all he can do is put a testing system in place, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And I think people don't realize how tough the commissioner's job is because of the Players Association.
Right.
That's another involvement too.
And what do you think of Donald Fehr? Do you think he did a good job, or is it?
Well, I think Donald Fehr's done a wonderful job.
Yeah.
Taking over from Marvin Miller, but there again, see, not being around the game like I was, I don't know the ins and outs of the Players Association with the drugs and the drug testing and things like that. All I know is the Players Association really protects the rights of players.
Right.
So, I would put them in there too. I would put everybody in the category of whose fault. You can put everybody in there.
Right. Everyone should be accountable for it.
Yeah, everyone should be. You can't say it's the commissioner's office. You can't say it's all the players. You can't say it's all the coaches. You can't say it's all the fans. You can't say it's all the commissioner. I mean, it's everybody. I mean, everybody just turned an eye or turned a cheek to what was going on.
Right. Well, I mean, with all this happening, it seems like we're at a point in the history of baseball where a player reaches a milestone and we're waiting for that steroid cloud to come in and consume him. I mean, is there any players today that we can, look up to as a clean player like Ken Griffey or David Ortiz?
Yeah, I mean, like who?
Oh, David Ortiz.
Well, you say David Ortiz, and then a couple weeks ago that his name come up that was working out with that trainer was giving everybody steroids.
Jeez. I didn't hear that one.
So, I'm like you. Would you like to see the other names on that list?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm surprised that you guys have rested until that list is. And that's one thing I thought was very unfair for A-Rod, for his name to come out. Of all the names on that list, 104 of them.
Right.
And then you take his name and splash it all over the paper. I mean, that to me, that was very unfair.
I agree. Did you, I mean, are you disappointed by that? Or have you talked to A-Rod?
Well, I'm a little disappointed because I thought he was a clean guy. But,
right.
Would I vote for him for the Hall of Fame tomorrow? Yes, I would. Is he the best player in baseball? Yes, he is. And he made a mistake, and hopefully the mistake is behind him, and there's no question he'll get a second chance. He's a lot luckier than Bonds or Clemens or Palmeiro, those guys, because their name's going to be coming up on the Hall of Fame ballot in the next 2 or 3 years.
Right.
A-Rod's won't come up probably to 2023. I probably won't be here then. So a lot of people will forget about A-Rod's 3 years of taking steroids by the year 2023.
Well, I mean, with that being said, do you think that you will get reinstated in Bud Selig's era, or you think it'll be after?
I hope so, because I think I don't know if this helps me or hurts me. I don't know if it helps me as far. I think it helps me for like the press and the fans, but I don't know if it helps me as far as the commissioner, because if he reacted in a positive way for me right now, people might say, well, he's only doing it because he's in trouble with steroids.
Right.
That's really not fair to me either.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right. It's just frustrating because the hypocrisy here. I mean, these guys are cheating on baseball, and all you did was bet on your team to win, and you get the worst of it, and that's just not right. So.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that.
Yeah.
I hope, I know Bob Costas said that, and Francesa said that, and most of the press are now saying that, and if Bud hears that enough, then maybe he'll feel in his heart to give me a second chance.
Well, that's why we're doing it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, I think I got what I need, Pete. Thanks.
And you have a good day, and thanks for calling.
Hey, thanks a lot.
All right.
Bye-bye.